Diane Zabinski. Welcome to Round Town. My guest today is Chairman of the Sam Steele Committee, Gary Gairdner. Gary, first of all, how many events do we have going for the Sam Steele Days?
Right now we were sitting at about 22 events, Diane, and hopefully one or two more might dribble in at the end, but 22 are the ones that we have right now, with including all the major events.
Is it too late if someone wants to arrange an event for the weekend of June?
Well, as long as it's
20?
not a major event and they have sufficient time to plan it, it isn't too late. And they can fill in what isn't going on now. We wouldn't want them to overlap any of the events that are going on right at the present moment to distract from the major events. But if there's something they can use for fill-in, if we have something before the parade in Saturday morning or something like that, we'd appreciate that.
Are there any overlays between the events, or are they scheduled throughout the weekend?
They're pretty well running all weekend. There are a few little gaps, but for example, the truck rodeo is running all day Saturday, and then we have the parade on downtown Saturday, and then there's a short gap, and then there's the bean dinner by the Single Parents Club, and then after that at 3 o'clock they have the outhouse race. So there are a few little gaps in there, but not really extensive ones.
What about the parade? Have the floats just from Cranbrook, or do you have other municipalities contributing floats?
I don't have all the lists of all the places that are contributing floats, but they're coming from everywhere. This parade this year is supposed to be one of the biggest that we've ever had. We were just besieged by entries, and I think everybody's going to really enjoy it. As a matter of fact, from what I understand, the parade route they're trying to change it a bit now because of the fans that they think will be watching the parade.
That's right. At City Council they were discussing on rerouting the parade for better television coverage, as I understood it. It has to go through the RCMP first. Cranbrook RCMP will be looking at reviewing the parade route.
Yes, there's a few different people that are involved in it, and Rick Harker and his committee from the Lions Club have done a tremendous job, and they're right on top of it, and I think it's going to be a tremendous success.
The first event mainly, isn't it the Sweetheart Pageant, the decision on who will be the sweetheart?
That's correct. On Friday night is when that takes place at the Colombo Lodge. That will be the kickoff, basically, of Sam Steele Days, and it is the major event, probably, of Sam Steele Day.
So your sweetheart can ride in the parade on Saturday?
Well, that's correct, along with all the princesses.
All right, after that there's a gambling concession and midway rides. Where are those taking place?
Okay, the midway will be at the Miller and Brown property, the south end of the Miller and Brown property, right beside the arena. And that they will be going the whole 3 days of Sam Steele Days, and with the concessions in there to go along with it. And that's the Big M shows are the ones that are bringing that in.
Are you taking care of the rides, the midway rides?
Well, basically they do all that on their own. They contribute a percentage of the ride money to the Sam Steele Committee, and this money is quite important to the Sam Steele Committee. Along with that, and the buttons that we are selling, that is our sole support, basically, to put on the parade, which is quite an expensive item to put on every year. The Sam Steele Committee is paying for the parade, even though it's being organized by the Lions Club.
And where can people obtain these buttons if they want to buy them?
There are members of the Sam Steele Committee that are going around selling them, plus they're at the Chamber of Commerce booth, and we hope to have them set up in different places in town shortly. But
they're not on sale right now.
They are on sale, but it's just getting rolling, so there are members that are out selling them, mainly in the bars right at the moment.
And how much are they going for?
They're $1 a button. We hope to sell enough to pay for our parade.
What about the truck rodeo that's going through Industrial Park? Maybe you can tell us a bit about that.
Well, that is being sponsored by the Cranbrook Truck Association, and John Maywood is responsible for that. And most of the entries you get the day of the rodeo. He says he tries not to get them in too far in advance in case anything happens, and then they have a shortage of entries in the planning, etc. But it will be starting at 9 o'clock on Industrial Road number 1, and it will be going all day Saturday.
Any kind of truck?
Well, there's, I believe, 2 basic types of vehicle that they have down there for 2 classifications, and everybody is welcome to go down and watch it. It's supposed to be quite interesting. I haven't seen one myself, and I hope to take it in this year. And this is culminated at the end of the day. They are joining with the Single Parents Club and sponsoring a dance at the Kinsman Arena. It's actually a supper and a dance afterwards to present the trophies from both the outhouse race and the truck rodeo.
About the dance, how much is the admission to the dance?
That I'm not positive, but I think it's $10 for the whole evening, for the banquet, the dance, etc. But
live entertainment?
Oh yes. And as I said, it's a combination of both of them, and I understand that they have fairly lively crowds, especially from the Truckers Association. Haven't been to any of the single parents ones yet, but I think for the two of them together, that should be
pretty rowdy crowd.
Well, not rowdy, but good.
Okay, what about this bean dinner after the truck rodeo? What's that all about?
Okay, the bean dinner, basically it's occurring after the parade. It starts about 1 o'clock. And this is a baked bean dinner, and it's the contestants in the outhouse race, it's mandatory for them to partake of this bean dinner. And anybody else who wants to, they can order them as well. I believe it's going to be set up in the Cranbrook Mall. So anybody who wants to come and have a baked bean dinner, they're welcome to. And then at 3 o'clock...
And the various women in the community of Cranbrook have baked the beans.
That's correct, yes. And they're, I think, to add a little impetus to the pushing of the outhouses.
Now, what exactly is an outhouse race?
Well, it's basically exactly what it says. They're outhouses from gone by age. At least in some places it's gone by, in others it hasn't. And they're going to be racing down Baker Street. And this starts at 3 o'clock, and due to the number of entries, they'll be racing in heats. And hopefully there'll be a minimum...
In heats?
Yeah. There'll be, there won't be, all of them won't be going at the same time. They'll be
going one by one and being...
Well, I don't think one by one. I'm not exactly sure how they have the planning for it, but there'll be more than one. But each heat will go by and be timed, or however they're doing it, and I think there are different classifications as well.
I imagine you have most of the entries for that.
Yes, from what I understand from the club, they have cut off the entries. They're going with a field of what they have now. I believe it's 20.
They have 20?
Yes, 20
That's
outhouses.
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
That should be pretty exciting.
I think it will. And
this starts at 3 p.m.?
3 p.m.
On Saturday?
On Saturday.
On June the 20th?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, do you expect a large crowd from out of the province? Alberta or from Washington?
We're expecting people from everywhere. There seems to be quite a response from Lethbridge in that area, plus from in the Washington and Idaho and Montana too, I understand. And also we're having representation from the Vancouver and also from Kelowna, which is basically our sister city. They're having their 75th anniversary this year as well, and the mayor and their princess and contingent are coming down for the parade.
You feel that Cranbrook's going to be able to handle all these people for accommodations over the weekend, or a lot of people come in trailers or campers?
Well, I think that Cranbrook will just have to find a way to handle them all, because
they'll be here.
They'll be here, right? And then it's just going to be the beginning, because when the homecoming comes along later on in this fall, there are going to be twice as many people from out of town coming in. I think most of our crowd on Saturday, the Sam Steele days, will be from the general area, and I don't think the accommodations will be too much of a problem, although I understand most of the motels are booked already.
So I imagine it's quite an amount of money influxed into the city during that time. It's pretty good for the business people of the community.
Yes, this is very true, and this year, as a matter of fact, we're going to take a survey and just see, try to come up with figures about what it does bring into the community and give us a little bit more bargaining power in future years for Sam Steele Days. I know other communities have done this, and it's just phenomenal, the amount of money that it generates over that one weekend.
Sure. What about the organizing of all this? I know you're the chairman. Must have been quite a feat to organize all the events. And
it is a handful, but then anything is, I guess. When you get involved in anything, you have to put in a lot of work. The format we've used this year is a little different than prior Sam Steele years. The Sam Steele Committee itself isn't really putting on that many events, and that's why I'm not completely sure about what's happening in all of them. I have a general idea, but I just leave that to whoever's sponsoring them. We went out and looked for people to sponsor events, and then just coordinate it from there to try and keep things rolling and make sure that there isn't too much of an overlap or anything like that. And also to make sure that people that aren't supposed to be here aren't here and this type of thing. But other than that, we're really just a coordinating body, and it's from now on it shouldn't be that bad. It's just mainly getting all the little...
And you feel it's successful as a coordinating body instead of trying to organize each separate event?
Well, it is successful in that. It might not lend to such big events like they've sponsored sometimes in the past, such as, you know, bringing into entertainment, which is quite expensive. We aren't doing that. Anything that we're bringing in is either sponsored by somewhere else, or else it isn't going to cost us anything, or at least minimal, other than our parade. And this way we won't have a deficit with the Sam Steele Days every year. And if we do happen to make a bit of a profit, then maybe we can enlarge a little bit on some of the things we do next year. But basically we're operating as a break-even point this year, and we aren't putting on any of the events ourselves.
Okay, well, we have a short film clip right now, which we'll see, from the Sam Steele Parade, Kiddies Parade, from 2 years ago.
Following the Scottish dancers, we have visiting
What are the
royalty,
ages
Miss
of the
Rebel
children in
Stokes,
this
Shirley
parade?
Hood, and Princess
Would you
Sandra
like to know?
Chismada.
Ooh, I don't think I do.
Miss Spokane,
They're...
not to be confused with the Lilac Festival Queen, Miss Spokane 1978.
I can't remember what they were.
Chris.
Did you have anything to do with the Sam Steele Parade and
I've never had anything to do with
2
Sam
years
Steele
ago?
Days before.
This is the first time
This
for
is
you?
the first
Team,
time.
and of course, Cornell, we're very proud of those girls. They brought back to
In the past, I was involved with either the Kiwanis or the Royals Booster Club with their casino, and that would be about the extent of it.
the hardworking members of the Kinsman Club.
I don't know,
and
this
their
doesn't look like
car,
Kiddies Parade.
1978 Ford, some lucky winner
This looks like
will
the Marine Parade.
take home a brand new car this evening.
You bet. Here's Miss Creston and
sure it
Princess
is.
Karen Wigan representing the Creston Blossom Festival at the parade here this year. Immediately behind her,
Oh, this is the beginning of the parade's coming up just after this.
Mardi Gras Brenda Pascuso and Princess Aileen Osterhold. And behind them, the Caslo May Queen.
So the sweetheart
Caslo, we have Debbie
princesses
Jensen
will also be in the parade
Princess
this year.
Wendy Settle. Welcome
That's right.
to Cranbrook,
And the
girls.
Queen will be
They
picked
were all
on
down at the
Friday.
Sweetheart
And also our new
last night.
float,
What a lovely
Diamond Jubilee
contingent of
float.
visiting
Oh, I've seen the
royalty we had.
float. It's quite impressive. It cost quite a bit, didn't it?
Yes, it was quite expensive, but it won first prize in Creston, so that should be some indication.
Keeping on top of where they're all going and what they're doing.
These are
Other municipalities in the province, do they have the same kind of celebrations that Cranbrook puts on?
the Potter Distilleries.
Pretty well, just about every community around has some celebration or another. Fernie has their Grizz Days, and Kimberley has their Oktoberfest and July Fest.
These are the
Or
Sam
February, I
Steele
guess it is.
Scouts.
In
This is all
July.
part of the Diamond Jubilee
Calgary, Alberta.
celebration? Or?
This is part of it, yes. No, it's all part of it. The Diamond Jubilee itself is basically what they did. They're just a committee similar to what ours was, and they're coordinating all the events for the whole year, and basically putting the Diamond Jubilee before everything, like Diamond Jubilee, Sam Steele Days, and Diamond Jubilee Homecoming, and everything is the Diamond Jubilee.
Dressed in Sam Steele Northwest Mounted Police uniform. Have we ever had a Sam Steele leading the parade?
Did you have a lot of help with Cranbrook RCMP or the fire department? Will they be looking on to handle parts of the parade and the events?
All the scouts.
We've had meetings with everyone, actually, altogether, the city engineers, the fire department, the RCMP, everybody. We've had meetings with them, and just to coordinate and everything, so we all know where everybody stands, including the health department. They do. The health department is quite concerned that anything that is set up that handles food meets health requirements, and the fire department wants to know if there's any blockades anywhere, so that they know where to route if they're required. The same as the RCMP, and it really works well. You can coordinate everything beforehand, and then you don't have any problems at the end.
What about the beer gardens? You have to have a special license for that, I understand.
Oh yes, the JCs are sponsoring that, and they've had a lot of experience with it. They get a permit. It takes, sometimes up to 6 weeks to get the permit, and they're operating, I believe, from 10 o'clock. I mean midnight, noon to 10 o'clock, and then they shut down. and it's a smaller event this year than it has been. They've found that when it's getting, they had it in the curling rink in the last few years, and it got too big and too rowdy. So they're having a small one downtown in the Toronto Dominion lot.
Where do you get all the beer supplies?
Cheering Eric on.
Well,
They have to purchase it, just say as if they were a hotel. They make
They
arrangements.
get an outdoor portable liquor license, I imagine. I know that the city of Cranbrook's allowed to give 6 during the year.
Yes, something like that, and I believe they can give out 2 or 3 during that one event or something. But they get their permit. They have to state on the permit where they're having it, how many people, what times, everything's right on the permit, and they can't vary from that at all. And they also say how much they anticipate serving, and then from this they go and purchase their supply, and they usually get one of these truck trailers that are cooled, donated or for the day, and keep their beer in there to keep it cool.
And a beer will be the usual price that you would pay in a bar.
well,
It might be a bit cheaper.
Glad to see
It probably be fairly close. Yes, usually the JCs in the past, the way they've operated is they sell you a mug at the door. That's your entrance fee, and then you buy your refreshment to fill the mug up with from there.
I see. And is there going to be any live entertainment for the beer garden? Or dancing?
Knowing the JCs, they will probably have something. They haven't sort of announced anything that they're going to have anything, but I don't think there'll be any dancing as such, but they'll probably have some shenanigans in there of some sort. They always have had in the past.
What are some of the other events? You have 22 events. That's an awful lot of events. What else have you got planned for the weekend?
Okay, the fellows from the Colombo Lodge are having a bocce tournament. I'm not sure if it runs Friday and Saturday or just Saturday.
What is a bocce tournament?
It's hard to describe it. It's just like almost like lawn bowling. Only thing it's not on the lawn. It's going to be in the basement.
Right, I know the game. Yeah.
Yes, and they're having a tournament, and hopefully there'll be entries from all over the Kootenays. They're having that in the basement of the Colombo Lodge, and they're also having a dance on Saturday evening. They're also raffling a trip to Hawaii, and most of the proceeds are giving away to charity. This is about a $2,000 prize that they're raffling off. Then, of course, there's a parade, and then there's a Little Britches Rodeo, which is taking place on Friday evening and all day Saturday at the Wycliffe Fairgrounds.
By the Maverick Riding Club?
This is sponsored by the Maverick Riding Club, yes. And I understand, is going to be quite a good show.
What's the age for the children going in?
That I don't know again, but they have posters around town with the entry fees and dates and age groups, etc.
That's right.
And the Keith McMahon is the one who is sponsoring that at 426-2231 if anybody wants to get him. But there are posters all over town, and it pretty well caters to people that are in that line in a way, and they let them know themselves. And there's a gay 90s dance hall on the top of the Legion. That'll be on Saturday evening.
There's quite a bit happening Saturday evening.
That's right, yes.
Skip along to several different dances and parties.
Yes, well, this is a lot of fun. They dress up like the gay 90s, the ladies from the Legion Club, and have snacks up there and honky-tonk piano, and they just have a real good time.
It's mandatory to come in a costume?
It's not, but it's better if you do. You have more fun, I think. But they have a real good time. Then we have the Kinsmen are running an elephant hunt for the children.
What's an elephant hunt?
Well, you'll just have to wait and find out about that.
So like a treasure hunt?
That basically, yes.
I imagine it's not chasing after an elephant.
Well, maybe they'll bring one in. You never know. But that has been successful in the past, and they're going to have it again this year, thankfully. Then we have the business decorating we're still looking for somebody to sponsor that. Hopefully we'll still have it. We get the different businesses in town to decorate their establishments, and depending on the size, they have trophies for the best decorated store and costumes inside it, etc.
So you want a sponsor to donate the trophy?
Well, to coordinate the whole effort. I might be able to talk the Chamber of Commerce into doing it. It has been done in the past by the Kinsman Club, but they're just so involved this year that they don't have time to coordinate it.
The Kingsmen Club and the Chamber
I'm
of
sorry, the
Commerce.
JCs.
Oh, well, the three separate groups, the Kingsmen, the JCs, and the Commerce,
Okay, coming up next.
Chamber of Commerce. The three of them have all together have separate events that they're contributing to the
Yes, everyone.
Sam Steele Days.
mhm.
We have the winners.
The JCs are running the beer garden, and the Chamber of Commerce is also sponsoring the pancake breakfast on Sunday morning for those who wish to get out of bed and come down, and that's always a successful event.
What time is that at?
I believe they start at 8 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, and that's basically a kickoff of the fire department are sponsoring a fish derby for the children on Sunday.
A fish derby.
Yes, and that's up at our park up here, and all the children that have to be under 12, I believe, they come out and they enter into this derby, and they have prizes for them. The firemen like doing that sort of thing. They're very good at it. I don't know where they find the
Kiddies
time.
Parade here from 2 years ago. Sam Steele Kiddies Parade.
That's a cute one.
Will there be one this year?
Unfortunately, the Kiddies Parade has been sponsored by the city every year and run mainly by the students they've hired for the summer. And the city felt this year that the students, due to our change in dates, the students wouldn't be here long enough to coordinate this effort, and so we don't have a Kiddies Parade scheduled unless someone else can come forward and say they'll operate it for us. But